For anyone who is new to my page, my name's Cody. I have schizophrenia. For anyone who's been following me for a while, this is just kind of a life update because if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen this. A few nights ago, I voluntarily checked myself into a hospital because I was having severe auditory and visual hallucinations. And so I kind of want to tell you guys about why I decided to check myself in, but I also have a lot of other things that I wanted to update you guys on. So before we get started, I do want to have a trigger warning. In this video, I'm going to be talking about symptoms of schizophrenia. I'll also be addressing depression, suicidal thoughts, and other topics that could be triggering to people who are currently going through psychosis or depression. I completely understand if that's too much for you, if you're not in a place where you can watch this right now. Please be safe for yourself. Come back and watch it another time, or this might just not be the video for you. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started so I can tell you guys a bit about what's been going on, but also what to look forward to. So for anyone who did see my Instagram post, I didn't really explain what was going on here or what led to this. Unfortunately, there's more to this story than just one night of really bad schizophrenia symptoms. Over the past 6 months, I've had a really difficult time posting videos and keeping up with content, and a lot of that was genuinely because I was busy. I've been booking more speaking events, and me and my wife sold our house and moved to a new place. That being said, something that I haven't discussed on here or any of my platforms was that right around that time period, I was diagnosed with a major depressive episode. Now, I was raised by a mother who has schizophrenia, which is a combination of schizophrenia symptoms and mood disorder symptoms. Specifically for her, it was bipolar. I was diagnosed on the schizophrenia spectrum, but up until recently, I had never shown symptoms of a mood disorder. It's been a very different experience for me. And as a mental health advocate, it's been something I've wanted to discuss, but I haven't been able to really put to words how I feel about the situation. And unlike schizophrenia, where I've had years to learn about the illness and better understand it and share my lived experience with people, this was really new to me, and I've been really having a difficult time with it. But I do think it's important as someone who's a mental health advocate to kind of let you guys know that this is going on and kind of explain to you my journey so far with it. The challenging thing with going through a depressive episode and having schizophrenia is that sometimes my hallucinations will be more negative because of the depressive episode. And that's kind of what led into me admitting myself. I was already having feelings like I wanted to hurt myself. That was already really challenging, but then on top of that, when I did have schizophrenia symptoms, when I was having auditory hallucinations, they would reaffirm and say a lot of the things I was already feeling. So it was like not only was I struggling with depression, but I was being told that all these feelings were valid and that everything I was thinking was true. And that people would be better off without me. And so it's been a scary time for me because, like I said, I've never struggled with this before. And I did, on top of all my antipsychotics, fairly recently I did start antidepressants, which in the past few weeks I do feel like were helping. I was feeling a little less hopeless. I was getting back to posting content. I was feeling a little more like myself again. But I have this problem where when I start having even schizophrenia symptoms, I can get very negative and down on myself because I've come so far, and medication has made it so that sometimes I'll go an entire week with no symptoms. But then when I have symptoms again, it's always so frustrating and it's disappointing, and I feel like it's a step back every single time. And I know that that's not the case. You know, it's part of my mental illness. Despite medication, I will have symptoms now and then. But also because I have over 1 million followers across platforms, when I do showcase, like, hey, I'm having symptoms, it's mostly filled with very positive, loving comments, but of course, there will always be the more negative, hateful comments, people saying that if I am medicated, then I wouldn't be struggling as much as I do, or if I am struggling, it must not be that bad because I've gone through treatment and I have medication now. And so I had the same issue now where I felt like I was doing really good and I was feeling like myself. And while I was at work one day, I started feeling these depressive feelings again, and I was having these suicidal thoughts, and I had this feeling like it was a setback again, and it triggered not only more of these feelings, but it triggered my schizophrenia symptoms as well. And I got to a point where my hallucinations were telling me things that didn't make me feel safe anymore. I've never been one who's been prone to anger, and so not only did I not feel safe for myself, I also felt like if things took a bad turn that Allison wouldn't be able to effectively help me, and so for both of our safety, we decided to have me voluntarily admitted just until I could calm down, process thoughts, and be able to be a little more cognitive. So that's what we did, and I will say that as I'm making this video, I've already spoken with the doctors, I've already looked at new med adjustments, and fortunately, I'm feeling much, much better. And before I go on with this story, I want to thank Allison and my entire care team for making sure that I could go through this process, feel safe, and also get past this paranoia of admitting myself and being able to go to the hospital when I need help. I do have a lot of paranoia surrounding the hospital specifically, and so it was really important to me that the whole experience went as smooth as it did. I think this conversation is important because as a mental health advocate, people get to see the best of my life. They get to see me at 100%. They get to see me working and going to conferences and speaking and doing comedy. And that's amazing, and I'm very happy that I can do all of that. I don't want to be one of the mental health advocates who doesn't show the reality of what I'm living with. I feel like that's why so many people have enjoyed my content and been able to identify with my content, was because when I started posting videos about schizophrenia, I started showing actual footage of me having these hallucinations or me in a delusional state. And I felt like that was important not only for me, but so that viewers could better understand the illness through a different lens and not just what they read online or read in a textbook. I also think it's important as a mental health advocate to show that even though most days are good now, I still have bad days. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support that I had when I shared this story. Allison took the picture of me in the hospital, and I was nervous to share it because I know a lot of the hate comments I was going to get from that would be people thinking I'm attention seeking. I just think that it's important for people to see the good side and the bad side of my illness, and not just this glorified image of what a recovered schizophrenic person can look like, because every day is a different challenge, and I am constantly going through med changes and additional symptoms and life, you know. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to share these parts of my life with you. I'm really lucky to have such a platform to do this. And speaking about my platform, I want to kind of step away from the not so bright, happy side of this into some things that happened also while I was away. One of which was I today hit 50,000 followers on Instagram, so that was amazing. Since the last time I made a YouTube video, I got this amazing YouTube Shorts light. Look at that. It's a neon light. A YouTube Shorts neon light. As someone who's a content creator and has been on TikTok for well over 3 years, I've never felt very appreciated on the platform. Whereas with YouTube, I've already felt way more appreciated as a creator. I also have booked several different speaking events coming up. If you guys are in Wisconsin, like I am, the Wisconsin affiliate for the National Alliance of Mental Illness is having me speak this year at their annual conference. And last but not least, because I talked about my Instagram milestone, let's turn on the YouTube Shorts light for this. I am about to hit 50,000 followers here on YouTube as well. And so as always, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. And as always, my name is Cody. Don't worry, I'm real.